Welcome to Getting Started with Google Classroom. Today, we're going to create a class, practice joining the class from the student's point of view. So we're going to come at things from the teacher's point of view and the student's point of view so that the teachers become comfortable assisting the students as they join classes and submit work. So we're going to create an announcement and an assignment. Those are two different types of things that you can do with your Google class. We're going to turn in an assignment from the student's point of view. To begin, let's go to classroom.google.com, and we're also going to open our drive at drive.google.com. So let's go ahead and get logged in. Well, here I am at my Google class. You can see I already have 3 classes, but I'm going to create a new class. So this is what the home looks like for my Google class, because I have some classes existing. If you don't, yours will be blank, and if you do, then you already know how to do this. And I'm not really showing you anything. So anyway, you click on this plus sign, and there's 2 choices, join class or create class. I'm going to create a class. And now is my chance to name the class Teacher Learning. And I'll still call it Section 1. And then I just go ahead and click Create. And it's creating the class. So here's my brand new class. It's called Teacher Learning. You can see it's Section 1. And there are 3 main things right off the bat. There's a stream, there's a list of students, and there's an about. So we're going to begin by clicking on the students, just so you can see. And since there are no students, it does have a code. It's IDFE22. And I'm going to ask you to please go ahead and join this class. Here I am at classroom.google.com, and I've just signed in using a student account. This is my student email address. It's a dummy address. Don't spam me. And as I scroll down, I've got 2 choices. You, as a teacher, need to log in using the teacher side. It's very important. You don't want to log in as a student. It may mess you up in the future. Because I'm using a dummy account, will go ahead and log in as a student and get started here. So the first thing you need to do once you enter Google Classroom as a student is to join a class. So we're going to go ahead and click on Join a Class and paste. Notice it only offers to join, not to create a class, because now we're coming at this from the student's point of view. So I'm going to join, and it's joining. And notice it looks very much like the teacher class that I had just created. And it even shows that the teacher is me, Harry Rausch, Section 1, Teacher Learning, and welcome to your classroom. And you can actually take a tour. Shows you about navigation between classes. It's a good idea. We should go over that. It shows you to share with your class, that you could post to the stream. And I am going to make that not an option, but we'll say, okay, got it for now. I just want you to see how to join from the student's point of view. I'm going to keep this logged in on my Safari, and we're going to jump back over to Google Chrome. And again, now this is from the teacher's point of view. So I now have, you can see, 1 student, AJHS Room 7 student has joined the class, and I can shoot AJHS an email by clicking on the email. I'm not going to do that. You don't need to read my email right now. This is the navigation, as you saw in the other thing. So I have the Teacher Learning class and then my other classes. So I could jump over to my second period class and it would just pop you into my stream. These are the assignments and announcements that I've created. We're going to actually create this assignment together, this GemDOS slideshow, in a bit. So navigation between your classes. You can always go home, and now you can see that I have a 4th class. If I click on these buttons here, I can rename the class or archive it. There's no deleting a class, I suppose, at this point, but we can archive it, and that's it. If I click on this folder, it's going to take me into the section of my Google Drive that is for this class. So here's the navigation scheme. I'm in my drive, I'm in Classroom, and I'm in Teacher Learning section 1. That's for this particular class, and there's nothing in here. But this is one of the great advantages of using Google Classroom, is the way it organizes the files. So if I go out to Google Classroom, you can see these are the 3 classes that I actually use, right? These are my real classes, my Math 7 for period 2, for period 3, for period 4. This materials folder is a folder that I created and that I recommend you create as well. This is where I keep the Drive documents which I want to share with my class so that I can find them more easily in the future. If I go into one of my classes, you'll be able to see that I have, okay, these are templates. Do not edit, so we leave that alone. But these are the actual assignments that I've given my classes. And if I go in there, there would be student information. So I'm not going to, but it would show each student's individual project that they turn into me, which is very nicely organized. So all the kids' projects are in the same folder where they can be easily accessed. What we will do now is go back into the classroom itself by clicking on here. And I want to show you about changing this background. So we're going to change the class theme by clicking here on change the class theme. Let's go ahead and take the paintbrushes. I feel artistic today. And so I select that, and that becomes the theme of my class. This view is the stream. This is where you'll make your announcements and your assignments. It's also where comments can occur. I don't like to have my students commenting on my announcements or assignments because it's too much work for me to have to police all that. So I like to go to Students and change this right here from the default of students can post and comment to only teacher can post or comment. That makes it much easier for me. Again, here's your class code if you need to invite more people to the class. Let's also explore the About tag. This is where you can say something about your Google Classroom. I'm going to title mine, once again, this is called Teacher Learning. A safe place for teachers to practice with Google Classroom. Okay, very good. You could also assign a room number. I'm going to go ahead and save. Back to the stream. Okay, I mentioned that you can make announcements or assignments. In my estimation, the difference between them is whether or not the students need to turn something back into you. If you're just giving them information, that would be an announcement. If you're giving them a project that they need to turn back into you, that's an assignment. Some teachers who don't have a web page, this would be a good place to add links to share with your class if your class is going all the time to Google Classroom. Going to say, explore this website as my announcement. And I'll add a link. And here's where you can enter or paste. And post. So there's my announcement. There's not much that the students could do other than to click on it, and it would take them to that web page. Let's make an assignment. The assignment that I'm going to give as a project that I've actually given my classes, it's to create a slide show using Google Slides regarding the order of operations. And I call the order of operations GEMDOS. So I will call this GEMDOS slideshow. Create a slideshow. For your GEMDOS acronym with examples. Now I'm going to attach from Drive. I'm going to go into Classroom, into my materials, and I'm going to attach not my example, but my template. This is important. We're going to select make a copy for each student. So there's three options here. Students can view the file, edit the file, or they each get a copy. When it's view, they can only view. When students can edit the file, every student in the class is working on the same file. Total mayhem, which could be great. And in this case, a copy for each student. That's what I want. And it will automatically append their name when they turn it in to me. I'm also going to attach from Classroom, from my materials, I'm going to attach the rubric. Wouldn't it be nice? There it is, GEMDOS slideshow rubric. And this, I don't want them to be able to modify. That would be awkward. Students can view the file, and that's it. So, very important to assign a due date. So I'm gonna push the due date for this. I don't want it to be late, so I'm gonna push it out pretty far. Why don't we push it out a year plus? And I'll make it due on a Friday. And you could add a time if you wanted. Now, I can add this to multiple classes. I can add it to all of my classes or just one. So very good time saver there. Once you take the time to make this, I should have done the same on the announcement. Once I add the announcement, it's too late to add it to multiple classes. I could delete it and start over. This way I can assign it to all my classes at once. It's assigning, and there it is. It shows me that one student is not done. If I click on this, it'll show me which student's not done, and I can go back to the assignment. After it's turned in, it'll show me which students are finished and which are not, and of course I have the choice to edit this or delete. I wonder if I edit. Yeah, it does not give me the ability to change which classes it's added to. You need to do that the first time through. But you can change the date, which is nice. I'm going to pop over to the student side now so we can see what this looks like. I'm signed in once again as AJHS Room 7. I'm going to enter the class, and here's the announcement of the website to explore, and that's a link. Here's the announcement of the slideshow, and if I click on the slideshow, I want you to see that the rubric is here, but not the template. So if I click on open or click on slideshow, either way it should take me in where I have the instructions and the work. So under the work is where my template is. Under the instructions is where I find the rubric. So I click on this, and this is my read-only copy of the rubric. Again, signed in as a student, there should be no ability to delete or change. I'm trying to delete that and I can't. this is the rubric, right? Again, for the students to be able to edit the rubric would be more than awkward. So this is the directions. Create the slideshow. I've shown them an example by now. Now we go over to your work. Now, there are some neat things to explore here besides just opening this, but you can see that it's appended my name to this. If I were to click on it and open it up, but you can add, so you can give an assignment and not leave a template, and students can add a Google Drive document. They can add a link, or they can upload a file, or if they want to start from the beginning, they can create a document, a presentation, a sheet, or a drawing, and when they're finished, they can click on Turn In. Okay, this is important. So it's from the Your Work section that you can turn stuff in. So I'm going to open this now and modify it. So again, the name is appended with the student's name, and they would come in here and they would type their name and enter their period, and they would just begin to make the slideshow, right? So they want to add new pages and so on. So when they're finished, they don't do the share button or any of these. They go ahead and they just close it out and they turn it in. Once the students turn in their work, they can't work on it anymore. So they turn it in, it asks, are you sure? It's going to attach the now updated template, and they click Turn In. And it's been turned in. So from the teacher's point of view, now it's going to show one done and the student's done. So just real quick to pop over to the teacher's point of view. Back over in the teacher's point of view, here's my home screen. I'm going to go into the teacher learning, and we can see that now one project is done and no students are not done. So it's time to grade it. I can click in and I can open, this will just give me a list of all the student work, one after the other, and as I click on them, it'll let me view their slideshow, however far they got. All right, and I can see all the work that's been done. I can judge that against my rubric and pop out here, and I can give a score. You can give it out of 1, 20, 50, etc. And this project grade is going to be 75% out of 100. And that's it. I've done it. I can post a comment if I choose to. I can say, nice job, and post it. And once I've graded all the assignments, the last thing I would need to do would be to return the assignments to the students. I also have the ability to email, and you can select which students you're going to email to let them know that you've scored their assignment. So I'm going to go ahead now and click on return. And one more time, I can give a little feedback. Thanks for all the hard work. And I can return the assignment. And that's going back to the student. Now it's completely done. Assignment's returned. Popping back to the student point of view. Now my grade is showing up as a completed assignment. And I've got the comment and the mass comment that went to everybody at once. Thanks for your time. I hope you got a lot out of that.